them are getting. So on this topic of awakening to the call of time, I request Sister Shivani to come and address all of us. Thank you.
Om Shanti. And thank you so much, Bhanubhai, for your pure wishes and blessings always. One thing to learn from it today for all of us. Whatever someone says about us, all the kind words that they say about us, it's actually a reflection of their personality. When their mind is happy, peaceful, and they're able to see goodness in everything around them, then every word they speak is full of love and respect. And so that's a reflection of their personality. But sometimes, some people don't say very nice words to us, or about us to other people. And it's at this time that we need to remember that what someone says about us is a reflection of their state of mind, their personality, their thought process, or just how they are feeling at that particular moment, their sanskar. So there's a very, very beautiful spiritual principle, which is Ninda Stuti Ek Saman, which means whether it's criticism or appreciation. So Ninda, criticism, Stuti, appreciation, Ek Saman, which means criticism or appreciation, defamation or a lot of praise. We just need to remain centered, untouched by both. Untouched by both, which means like a pendulum there, right in the center. If this pendulum oscillates to one side when it gets appreciation, then it's certain that it will oscillate to the other side when it gets criticism. For us to remain stable, untouched, absolutely untouched here, when someone doesn't say something nice about us, there's only one thing we need to do: remain untouched when someone's saying nice things about us, because it's a reflection of their personality. Their personality. And Ninda Stuti Ek Saman, which means stable in criticism and appreciation, is a very, very important spiritual tool which can keep us very, very strong emotionally, because when we can remain stable, if we receive appreciation or criticism, it gives us the power to remain stable in most situations of our life. Because what people have to say about us really matters a lot to us. And when we can remain untouched in what people say about us, then remaining untouched in other scenes of life becomes very easy. And why this is very important today? Because it's Independence Day. And I'm sure since midnight and today early morning, we're flooded with messages all over social media and our personal messages. Happy Independence Day. And we're saying 73 years, somebody's saying 74 years because it's the beginning of the 74th year. 73, 74 years of independence. But that is independence of the country. So it's Happy Independence Day of the country. We need to check when is it going to be my Happy Independence Day. So this is of the country, of course, huge, huge celebration everywhere. But what is going to be my day for my Happy Independence Day for myself? Let's take a minute of silence. Just sit back, relax. Close your eyes if you want to. Keep your eyes open, focused. It's just for a minute to just check your own self and to rank yourself or grade yourself or just check yourself. How independent am I emotionally? Freedom. And the parameter to check that, basic criteria. First, now keep ranking yourself. 1. How do I react to situations which are not my way? Do I blame the situation for how I'm feeling? Do I believe my mind is dependent on the quality of this situation. So if the situation is my way, I'm happy. If the situation is not my way, then I react and I endorse my reaction. I call it normal because I believe my mind is dependent on situations. Second, how do I feel when people behave in ways which I don't agree with? Is my mind dependent on people's behavior? Can one word from someone get me to be very happy? And another word brings a tear to my eye. And I blame them and I say, they hurt me. They upset me. They insulted me. They disrespected me. Is my mind dependent on people's behavior? Third, is my mind dependent on what people say about me? Which means what people think, feel, speak, write about me. Is my mind dependent on what others believe about me? Do I crave for people to be nice to me? It's a craving. Am I addicted to people approving of me? People appreciating me and what I have done, my work. Is my feeling good about myself dependent on people saying that I'm right? So am I dependent on people's opinion? Fourth, is my mind dependent on any object? Which means my phone, my technology, my gadgets, or just any object of comfort. So that if that object is not my way on a certain day, not working, not connecting, not as comfortable as I want it to be, not what I'm used to, any object. It could be my bed. If tomorrow I have to sleep somewhere else on another bed which I'm not used to, am I dependent on that? So objects. Does an object have the power to disturb my mind? And last, am I dependent on what I eat and drink? Any substance? Does my vocabulary say, I cannot do without my morning cup of tea or coffee? If I don't have that cup of tea or coffee, then I have a splitting headache. I cannot live without it. Is there anything around me for which I say, I cannot live without fill in the blank? It could be something to eat or drink, it could be an object, it could be a person. I cannot live without dependence. Now, just 5. So, is my mind dependent on situations? Is my mind dependent on people's behavior? Is my mind dependent on what people say about me? Is my mind dependent on objects? Is my mind dependent on what I consume, what I eat, drink, read, watch, listen? Now, this requires a lot of subtle checking, because it's very, very deep. Sometimes we're not even aware what all my mind is dependent on. But none of us, none of us would like a life of dependency. We all like independence, whether it's the independence of the country or whether it's physical independence. You know how many times we've said, I don't want to ever be dependent on anyone if I fall ill. I don't want to be dependent. I don't want someone taking care of me and making me walk to the washroom. I don't like to be we said this so often. We don't even like someone holding our hand and taking us to the washroom or helping us climb a flight of stairs. Even that kind of a dependence we don't like. But we've never realized we're dependent on people for our happiness, for our feeling respected, for our mind to be calm. It really wouldn't matter if somebody had to hold our hand for us to walk up 10 steps. It wouldn't matter if somebody had to hold my hand to take me to my room. It really wouldn't be that bad. But we still say, no, I don't want to be dependent on anybody. We don't like financial dependence. मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता. I don't like to ask people for money. I don't like to ask my parents for money. I don't want to ask my spouse for money. So I want to be independent. So independence, freedom is our sanskar. It's our nature, our personality. But the personality is actually about emotional independence. We're not focusing on emotional independence, and we're focusing only on physical independence, social independence, financial independence. Anybody says something, people say, who is anybody to say what we are supposed to do? We will live our way. So social independence, we don't want to be bound by society's norms of right and wrong, this and that. We said, no, I'm independent. I will do what I want. So physical independence, social independence, financial independence, but actually our personality, our nature is emotional independence. Because till we experience that emotional independence, we will not be able to experience that happiness, that peace, that calm, that ease, that contentment that we are looking for. We won't be able to experience. And it's very easy to experience this independence, provided we start wanting to work towards it. Because as a society, we called this dependence as normal. So even if we go to our life before COVID, which means let's rewind and go to 2019, and even 2019 was a life of complete dependence. So if we check our vocabulary, I'm angry because of, I'm irritated because of, I'm happy because of, it was always something because of. So, which meant whatever is happening here in my mind, my world of thoughts, feelings, memories, intentions, everything inside, which means my inner world. And my inner world is I, because everything else, my outer world is my. So it's my body, my relationships, my work, all this is my. So our outer world is my. But this inner world, I, I, the creator of every thought, feeling, memory, intention, this I. So this I became dependent on the outer world, and we thought we were free and independent. And yet, life was becoming so suffocating, stressed, disturbed, diseased, troubled, because it's this I, was dependent on everything outside, even if it meant this I was dependent on this body. If I need my body to be perfect for me to feel good, then I am dependent on this body. I want my face to look perfect. I want my body to look perfect. I want my body to be healthy, which is all fine. The body should be healthy. But if one day my body is not healthy, or if something happens, my mind is not going to get affected by what will happen to my body, is independence. Is independence. Our chief of the Brahma Kumaris, who left her body on March 27th, she was 104 when she left Dadi Janki. And she was a practical embodiment and a practical example of someone who was detached from her body but living in the body. And detached from the body means that whatever happened to her body was not touching her mind, emotionally independent of her body. Emotionally independent of people, untouched by situations. Yes, we're all experimenting with it, experiencing it most of the time, sometimes get a little disturbed, again get back to our independence. But she was an example of 100% emotional independence from her body, which means there was a lot happening in the body in 104 years. And actually, she's someone who was not born with a very strong, very healthy physical body. And since a very young age, she used to not keep well physically. And many, many times in her life, the doctor said, okay, she cannot now live anymore after this. This is very, very critical, very serious. And this is not now in her 90s or hundreds. This was like since she was very young. And yet, she lived up to 104. She's a miracle as far as her body is concerned because she did not allow her mind to get affected by what was happening in the body. We think that when we will be healthy, we will be happy. It's the other way around. When we will be happy, we will be healthy. It's not matter over mind, it's mind over matter. It's our thoughts and vibrations which will affect. But this will become a reality only when we start living our life that way. Now, let's see. How does it matter? Whether I'm dependent or independent, is it going to make any difference to my life? Yes. When I remember that I, the being, I, the soul, I, this energy, we can call it consciousness, energy, light, being, soul, spirit, the word does not matter. It just means this energy and everything else is physical, this body, and then, of course, everything else outside. But this energy is the creator of every thought, feeling, emotion, word, and behavior. I. I am the creator. This is my natural personality. This is the reality of every soul, that I, the soul, am the creator of every thought, feeling, word, behavior. Now, we were living our life that way. This is only, let's say, past few decades, maybe a little more than that, that we've forgotten that we are the creators of our every thought, feeling, word, and behavior. So when we were living our life with this awareness that I am the creator, then it meant that the situation can be difficult, but I can be peaceful. There can be a COVID crisis outside, but I can be calm here because I am the creator of my thought and feeling. Not बात ही ऐसी है तो डर तो लगना ही है. It's a crisis. So fear and anxiety is natural, is what society said together. And we've said it for 4 months, more than 4 months, and not few hundreds or thousands. Millions and billions are saying fear and anxiety is normal. So you see how society is reinforcing a belief system, and we are reaffirming it every day, saying if there is a crisis outside, then fear and anxiety is normal. This is reaffirming my emotional dependence, and which means for me to feel fearless, calm, stable, I need the situation to be perfect. And so we are waiting. We are waiting. When will this outside world become perfect so that my inside world can be perfect? But my inside world was not perfect even before COVID. It was not, because that time I had some other situations. Earlier, when we asked people, what's the cause of your stress? They said, too much work. Don't get time to spend at home. Now they say, too much at home. I just need to move out from here. I have to leave my house and go to my workplace. So this way or that way. Both ways, we were blaming the situation for how we were feeling. Because once I have a sanskar to blame, then I will always find something to blame for what I am feeling inside. If the situation was the cause of how we are feeling, then in any one situation, everyone should respond the same way. because we are facing the same situation. Just go back to your family and just look at yourself, four or five or two or three of you in one place, and suddenly there is a situation in the family. There is a situation. You can call it a situation, you can call it a problem, you can call it a crisis, but there is a situation in a family. Hypothetically, all four are going to face that same situation. But do all four experience the same emotion? Check. Does that same situation have the same impact on four minds? Does the same pressure at work, 10 people of a team or 50 people of a team, same pressure, same crisis, same leader, same colleagues, does every member of the team experience the same emotion? It never can happen like that. Never. And every day we are seeing practical proof. We just need to detach and see, yes, they are feeling different. I'm feeling different. I'm so stressed. They are calm in the same situation. And yet I'm saying the situation is the cause of my stress. If the situation was the cause of my stress, then the situation has to affect everyone the same way. And it doesn't. So every day we have ample evidence that situations don't create our emotions, and yet we are not changing our belief system, yet we are not changing our vocabulary, because if we changed our belief system, then it's a new way of living from today. Then it's freedom, then it's independence. Then I can think and feel and speak and behave what I believe is right, even if the world is not my way. And the world could mean COVID, the world could mean my spouse, my children, my colleagues, my leader, my job, nothing. My mind would be dependent on nothing. I would work hard, I would take care of everybody. Things may go my way, things may not go my way, but my mind will always be my way. Emotional independence. People will not be my way, my job will not be my way. Tomorrow I may not have a job for a few days, but my mind will be my way. My spouse will not be my way, the weather will not be my way, but my mind will be my way. This is a reality. This is a reality. And when we start working with this reality and we shift from living the life of a victim and we shift to being a master, just sit back and visualize all those situations. Make a list one day, not one day, today. Make a list today of everything we blame, of everyone we blame when we are not happy inside. For everything we wait so that I will be happy. I will be happy when? Dependency. Dependency. I will be happy when? People are saying, I'll be happy when I get to travel. And when we were traveling, it's like, I'm tired of traveling so much. When will I get to sit at home? Blame game. Blame game is a depleter. Because when my mind is attached to something outside, then I cannot be happy always. Now, the outside world fluctuates a lot. कभी ऐसे कभी ऐसे कभी ऐसे, so outside world is fluctuating a lot, and because my mind is dependent on a fluctuating world, so my mind fluctuates a lot. So it's happy here, then it comes down, then it's tired, then it's excited, then so it fluctuates. And that's why people said life is a roller coaster. And we heard the line and we say, ha, right, right, right. Life is a roller coaster. And then we started forwarding this message to everybody. Very nice. Life is a roller coaster. Life is not a roller coaster. Situations is a roller coaster. Life is here. This is the body and this is life. This is life. Take this life out, and the doctor will say, sister, take the body out because the life has left. Outside can be a roller coaster. Life cannot be a roller coaster, because if life is a roller coaster, then we can never experience what we want to experience, that contentment, that stability, that focus, that concentration, that clarity, that creativity, the intuitive. Nothing can be experienced if there is a roller coaster here. So roller coaster is outside, not inside. And when inside is calm and stable, the outside also does not look like a roller coaster, because the outside world is only about how we perceive it inside. The outside world is only how we look at the outside world. So it's up to us. And that's why it's very important for this inner world, this I, to be very calm, stable, and happy. Because if I'm happy, then everything I see around me, I find it right. There's nothing much to complain about. I'm grateful for everything that's happening. My body and mind is healthy today, so much to be grateful for. But if my mind is not happy, I would have a lot to complain about throughout the day. So, how we perceive the outer world is also actually dependent on how we are here inside. So, today, very, very important day, let's gift ourselves independence. It's good to hear the biographies of everyone who worked so hard to get country the independence. They sacrificed their life for us to be free today. They suffered, they were tortured, but they took it all, smiling, happy, because they were creating freedom for the country, even though they were not going to live to see it. But they were getting freedom for the country. They were ready to do anything for us to get freedom. What are we ready to do for ourselves to get freedom? What am I ready to do? So that I liberate myself, because my bondages are created by me and I have to liberate myself. So in this case, there is no one outside with whom I have to entangle. I have created my dependencies and I have to liberate myself. So I am going to free myself from my own belief systems. And the first belief system is I am the creator of every thought, feeling, word, and behavior. This is a very, very simple line, very easy to understand, and yet needs constant practice, constant attention. So every time, so one homework, one experiment that we are going to do from today, and you can take it up as 1 week, at least a week experiment, but start with 24 hours. So 24 hours, live in this awareness. This is the stimulus. I am the creator of every thought, feeling. And every moment, because every scene requires a response from me. Every scene requires a response. The response could be in my mind, the response could be an outer response, but every scene requires a response from me. And that response is my choice. And I will choose. So the first is that I am the creator. So once I remember I am the creator, second is I have to choose my response. And I will choose that response which is healthy for me. I will choose that response which allows me to experience what I want. So now, first, I ask myself, what do I want? So, most of us want love, happiness, peace, tranquility, power, power, purity here. So, whatever I want, I will choose that in my every response. So now someone behaves to with me in a certain way, that's their choice that day. It's their choice. Just reflect to the first half of today at home with family. How they behave was a reflection of their choice. How I respond is a reflection of my choice. And I will choose only that which is going to make me strong here, and it builds up my emotional immunity system. And it's very, very important in the current times to build up your emotional immunity system, because then your physical immunity system is also strong. So choosing our response, so choosing the right response, the normal response, because every time we will choose the right response, the healthy response, that time we are going to energize this self. So just look at 1 hour of the day, just 1 hour. If there are 5 situations in 1 hour, simple situations. अभी तो सब घर पे हैं, so 5 situations in an hour, simple situations. Your child did not listen to you. Your spouse did not cook right. Your Spouse got angry because you were not moving away from your laptop. You continued to work even though if it was a holiday. Very, very simple situations, which we cannot even call it a situation. This is normal life. So these simple situations, and you are responding every time we're getting irritated, snapping, even if it's in the mind or if it's in our words, every time I have to remember, every time I'm reacting, I'm depleting inner power. I'm depleting inner power. And this battery, this is like a battery here. So every time I'm reacting, even if it's like little, aisa kyun kiya, ye kyun kiya, aisa, even these little ones, nothing big, absolutely simple scenes of life, because it's the simple scenes of life which are so many. The bigger situations of life are very, very few. We don't need to prepare our mind to face big situations of life. We don't need to prepare our mind to face challenges of life. We only need to prepare our mind to respond right to the ordinary scenes of the day. Ordinary, simple scenes of the day. Because it is those scenes where we're going to respond multiple times. And in those multiple times, I can either deplete energy or I can conserve energy. I can either create a sanskar of reacting and blaming, or I can create a response of taking responsibility, responding right. So a crisis will come once in a while. A challenge can come once, twice a month. A difficult situation can come once a week. But sanskar will get created in scenes which come many, many times a day. So they are the simple scenes. So actually the practice has to be done only on those simple, simple scenes. So look at that's 5 situations in 1 hour. And when you just respond to them with ease, if you have to discipline someone, you do it lovingly, assertively. Loveful discipline, not angry reaction, chilla diya, not like that. Loveful discipline. Now, every time, so if these 5 times you responded right within an hour, you conserved energy and then you energized yourself. Once you energize yourself in an hour, the next hour you are stronger than what you were in the previous hour. So you've moved up, and then the next hour you've moved up. So every hour this battery is going like this. Every hour, every day, every month it's going like this. And then next month there is a challenge in your life. You just come to know something at work, whether it's with salary, whether it's with job, whether it's with team, whether it's with project, whether it's with transfer. It's a challenge, but by then my battery is here. And how did I get my battery charged? With these ordinary, simple scenes of the day. And when I hear or when I'm facing that challenge, I have to do nothing. Just, I don't even know how. I am calm and I'm stable. And I even look at myself that time and I will say, how is it that I'm not getting disturbed? इतनी बड़ी बात आ गई मेरे जीवन में. How am I stable here? Because my mind has got used to remaining calm and stable in the face of a situation. For the mind cannot differentiate whether it's a chota situation or a bada situation, because chota and bada, a simple situation or a crisis, is only how the mind will perceive it. But when the mind learned how to respond in these insignificant daily scenes, and then comes a challenge, and you're going to be very, very calm, very, very calm. And when you're calm, you're intuitive. And when you're intuitive, you can see the solution. This is leadership quality. Leadership quality, calm in a crisis. Leadership quality, no blame game in a crisis. Leadership quality, empowering others. Empowering others not just with motivating words, empowering others not just with appreciating here, empowering others with our own energy field. Words cannot empower people. Words only feel good to listen for some time. So suppose I'm sulking and I'm very upset, and someone will come to me and say, "Acha, koi baat nahi na, chhod de, sab theek ho jayega." And I was like, "Huh, right, right, right." So it feels good for some time, and then they say that and they go away, and after some time, I'm back to here. So that motivation is very temporary, very temporary. But empowerment is permanent. So empowerment means when you, the leader, and leader could be a parent is a leader, because a leader, a parent empowers others. So leadership quality means where your energy field, your vibration is high. And just by being who you are raising other people's vibrations. So a charged battery connected to other batteries. So the other batteries also get charged. The other batteries will also get charged. Batteries will not get charged by what we say. Batteries will get charged only when they receive power from this battery. Now, the other way around. 5 simple scenes of the day, of the hour, and I react to 3 out of 5. I deplete my battery. Next hour, I'm emotionally weaker than I was in the previous hour. And then I react 4 out of 5 times. Next day, I'm emotionally weaker than what I was yesterday because I depleted this battery. And then I got used to living my life with a depleted battery. And I said, that's okay. Stress is normal. Anxiety is normal. Anger is normal. Overthinking is normal. Everything is normal. I called it all normal. I called that discharged battery normal. And then came COVID. And then I said, fear and anxiety is normal because this mind did not have the power to face situations. So, new way of thinking, new way of living means emotional independence. Emotional independence. No bondage, no dependency, no attachments, no attachment to certain things being my way. No, giving your opinion, giving advice, giving directions, giving orders, doing everything, disciplining, being strict. But their behavior should not create something here. This is emotional independence, and this is something we all need to start working on. Why? Why? Because if we do not take care of our emotional health, then, then there are chances that if something doesn't go my way, or sometimes everything is my way, but just, and some of us then start experiencing a depression symptom. Now, a lot of us are saying, why is mental health issue on the rise? Because this is not something very old. If we just go back to our school or college, so if we just rewind society by, let's say, 30 years. So I remember my school, so of course, I don't think I knew the word depression that time. I didn't even know the stress. We didn't know the word stress. Stress was only in physics. Stress was no emotion. I am stressed, you're stressed. There was no language like this stress. So we are not talking history. We're talking our life. And we're probably the last generation who knows that life, where there was no vocabulary as stress, anxiety, hyperactivity. All these words were not there in our vocabulary. The छोटा सा word that we would say would be tension. आज थोड़ी सी tension हो रही है, and वो भी कौन से दिन होती थी? One day before the exam, one day before the result finished. वो tension भी उतनी थी सिर्फ. One day before exam, one day before the result. That's tension. And so we're not talking history, just 20, 30 years back, we were an emotionally stronger, emotionally healthy generation. And so at that time, we did not have mental health issues. We did not. We did not have depression was a rare thing which happened to somebody, very, very rare. And that too, it was more depression which was in the old age. So age related depression or a disease related depression or a post pregnancy depression. So it was a depression which was caused due to hormonal changes in the body. Now depression, and now we've reached a stage where we said अच्छा depression है, हाँ कोई बात नहीं, normal है, आजकल होता है. We started calling that also normal. So if we are emotionally fit, emotionally strong, we never will tip over to a mental health issue. But if I am doing nothing on a daily basis for my emotional fitness, and I think I am fine the way I am, with all those negative emotions being called as normal, I think that's fine to live that way, then I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know which day, which moment I can tip off onto the other side. I shift from an emotional issue to a mental health issue. There is a very thin line between that, between the shift, just the shift, which means experiencing the first signs of depression, the first signs of panic, the first signs of anxiety. There's a very thin line between them. And that's why it takes very, very long for people. The biggest problem with mental health issue is it's taking so long for people to realize that I have an issue because it's so similar to our life before that. क्योंकि पहले भी anxiety थी, अब थोड़ी सी ज़्यादा है. So I am not able to differentiate that this is a mental health issue. I need to see a doctor. I need to see a therapist because it's so similar to our so-called normal life labeled by society. That's the reason why we're not able to see it. We are not able to diagnose it. We don't find the need to ask for help. And even people around us are not able to see it. I know, I meet so many families and I say, you know what, you need to take them to a doctor. So, kya hua? I said, it looks like depression. Say, na na, kuch nahi, udaas hai, theek ho jayega. You see, तो वो उदास है ठीक हो जाएगा because we are so used to it कि उदास होने में क्या बड़ी बात है, कुछ दिन उदास है, upset है, ठीक हो जाएगा. So they're not able to see the difference. And that's why we take so much time before we think of seeing a doctor. Because that beginning stage of a mental health issue is so close to an emotional health issue. And that emotional health issue, we have called it as normal. That's our big, big mistake of calling emotional illness as normal. So, what is spirituality? You may say, oh, sometimes people say, I am not spiritual. It's because we don't understand the meaning of the word spirituality. 30 years back, when I was told by my parents, I said, oh, I'm not interested. So that was my first reaction to, "Ye kya hai? I'm not interested. I don't need meditation. I don't need spirituality." We don't understand spirituality. So spirituality only means a personality. Spirituality is a personality which is coming out from the spirit, which means the qualities of the soul. So the qualities of the soul, the qualities of this energy, purity, peace, happiness, love, wisdom, power. This is quality of the spirit. And when my thought, word, and behavior will be out of any of these qualities, then for that moment, I am using a spiritual personality. When I look at another being, I connect another person to who they are. So, which means I am a being connecting to another being, not looking at roles, relationships, labels, positions, achievements. Then at that moment, I am a spiritual personality. So, there is nobody who's not spiritual. So, those of us who say, I am not spiritual, actually, they don't know, but they're very, very spiritual, but they don't know what it means to be spiritual. So each one of us is spiritual, each one. It's just that we need to increase the time that we are spiritual during the day, which means I may be spiritual for a few minutes every day. Now I have to make it few hours, and then I have to make it most of the day, and then I will reach a stage where I'm spiritual throughout the day, which means I'm using those qualities of the being in my every thought, feeling, word, and behavior, in my every interaction. And I am emotionally independent, which means I don't need anything outside for me to create happiness, peace, and love. It's my natural personality. It's my natural personality. That is spirituality. That is spirituality. And that is what is the purpose of our life, to use that spiritual personality in every interaction. So when we start focusing on that, and just visualize how life will become. Just visualize, not standing like this, asking people for love, asking people for love, happiness, respect, not asking, creating, not asking, not seeking, not needing, creating, radiating, and in fact, giving it to people. We shift from being seekers, wanting, we shift to being a giver in life. A giver, giver in feelings, giver in vibrations, giver, and giver will be the one who creates it. If I don't create it, I have nothing to give to people. So taking care of our emotional health and shifting to being emotionally independent is now a necessity. It was always important. So it's not that it was not important, it was extremely important because it was not very healthy to having adapted ourselves to living a life of discomfort. Like suppose I have something not right in my hand or in my foot, but it's just not getting healed. So I'm not walking properly, I'm limping a little bit. So let's say I'm limping a little bit, and I tried and it's not getting okay. And after some time I said, ठीक है यार, ये ऐसे ही ठीक है, कुछ नहीं होता इसको. So I get used to walking with a limp. After some time, I even forget that there is a limp. I am just adapted myself to walking. But that's not health. And then one day, if there is a stimulus which demands me to run, but I had adapted myself with that limping foot, I will not be able to run that day. And if I attempt to run that day, I will fall. I will fall. And it's that day when I will realize that I should have healed that limping foot when it was just a limp, not an injury. So, this is that. Let's not adapt ourselves to these uncomfortable emotions. Let's not adapt ourselves to diabetes and hypertension. ये तो normal है, diabetes तो normal है, divorce तो normal है, ये तो होता रहता है. Let's not adapt ourselves to uncomfortable emotions. We're becoming slaves of it. Slaves. So let's start practicing a life of emotional independence. And every time you are going to become independent, whether it's independent of an object, it's easiest to start with object and substances we eat and drink. That's the easiest place to become independent. Easiest. Because once you do it in one thing, you're enhancing energy. Another thing, you're increasing energy. This is also activating willpower. Willpower, you're activating willpower. So one thing today, from today, we are not going to say for anything, I cannot live without. This line has to go. I cannot live without my morning cup of coffee. Have your morning cup of coffee. Enjoy your morning cup of coffee. Don't become a slave of your morning cup of coffee, because then it's no more just a cup of coffee. Then it's an emotional depleter. So don't use the word I cannot live without or I am uncomfortable without. Fill in the blank. This line has to go. This line depletes soul power. I cannot. I can. I use that, but I choose to use that. So say I choose to drink. Now we'll say, what? How does it make a difference whether I say I choose to drink or I say I cannot live without? Because every time you are saying something, you are creating an affirmation here. I cannot live without, I cannot live without becomes the background music on my subconscious mind. So today it will be I cannot live without coffee. Tomorrow it will be I cannot live without that person. Day after tomorrow is, oh, this person is not with me. Now I don't want to live. So that's how that sanskar of dependency becomes very, very, very deep. So very simple lifestyle habits to make ourselves emotionally stronger. Pick up your dependencies, take them one at a time and start working with them. So whether it is how much you use your technology, your gadgets, your phone, how often do you pick it up and how often do you go to your social media handles? I mean, this is something we're all doing, but let's do it accurately. Let's really do it and start conserving our energy. But simple lifestyle habits which will help us to energize this spiritual power here. First thing in the morning. So, one gift to yourself today on Independence Day. First thing in the morning, do not connect to your phone or any other gadget in the first hour of the day. It's very important. If I want to become emotionally independent, which means I do not react to the world, I respond to the world through my spiritual personality. I don't react. Then this here has to be in a very high vibrational state. But if I wake up and first thing in the morning, I check my phone, which means even if it's just for 5-10 minutes, if I just go through my messages, my emails, the world news, the social media handles, if I just scroll for 5-10 minutes, I've consumed the world onto my mind in 10 minutes. I consume the world onto my mind. So my mind is like a blotting paper. First thing in the morning, this blotting paper is absolutely clean, absolutely clean. And that's why we used to be taught in school, wake up early and study. सुबह उठ के पढ़ो, early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, wise. Early. So early में जो उठकर यहाँ, whatever we absorb, that goes deep into the subconscious because it's the first layer information of the morning. So there are two times which are very, very important for emotional health. The first hour of the morning and the last hour before we go to sleep. The first hour, whatever we consume, is how the mind will be during the day. The last hour, what I consume, will be how I will be during my sleep. So these two times are very, very important. And it is these two times where news channels have the highest TRP, early morning and late night. And of course, all our other activities that go on with gadgets. So one habit that my first hour will not consume the world onto my mind. If I consume the world onto this blotting paper in the first 1 hour, then during the day, I will only react to the world because it's the world which has become here as part of my emotions instead. So that's the only one thing which we do different at the Brahma Kumaris is that first 1 hour of the morning is for energizing the self. That first hour is very, very crucial. So first thing when we wake up, let's the first few thoughts of the morning begin with gratitude. Gratitude. So gratitude to God, gratitude to your mind and body for being healthy, gratitude to people around you, gratitude to nature. Just create thoughts of gratitude. You're tuning your vibrational frequency to gratitude. The mind will have less to complain about during the day because we've shifted it to gratitude. Then take a few thoughts which will be your personal set of affirmations, your personal set of affirmations. It could be affirmations related to your nature, your personality, what you want to change, affirmation related to your health, affirmation related to your work, to your relationships. Create about 5 to 6 affirmations and spend a few minutes in bed. Don't get out because once we're out of bed, we start thinking. We need to create those affirmations when the mind is silent after that sleep. So create those few affirmations a few times at least. So spend at least 5 to 7 minutes with those very high vibrational, pure, positive thoughts and visualize them. So affirmation plus visualization starts recording things here. Even if you affirm your response today during the day, so if I have the habit of getting angry or getting irritated, then I will create my affirmation in the morning. I am a peaceful being. I respond with dignity to every scene. I am the master of my mind. 3 thoughts, affirmation. Now I will visualize this in the morning. I will see those typical scenes which come during my day, and I will visualize myself responding peacefully, calm, stability, responding. So while I'm creating this affirmation and visualizing, there's a recording that's happening here. And then during the day, when that situation comes into my life, that coding here, that programming of the response will come out into action. It will, because that's what I did first thing in the morning. So few minutes of affirmation, which are very specific to what we want to create in our life. Then meditation. Meditation was always important, but now it's necessary because a lot has changed this year. And this year will demand us, it will demand from us to be emotionally stronger because situations have gone. So, meditation should now be a part of our life. Not one of those things when we get time, we will do it, or on the day I feel like it, I will do it. I may never feel like it. I may never get the time for it, but now I have to make the time for it, and I have to do it even if I'm not able to do it. Sometimes I cannot do meditation. Never mind. Start sitting. Start sitting in silence. Let's tell this mind and let's teach this mind discipline. Discipline. So at least 20 to 30 minutes, 15, 20 minutes to begin with of meditation, and at least 20 to 30 minutes of spiritual study, which means that blotting paper should absorb content which is pure, divine, which is content of who I want to be. So, emotional health is created on the basis of our emotional diet, and emotional diet is what we watch, read, listen. So, what we watch, read, listen is who we become. Very, very simple line that what we watch, read, listen is who we become, but very deep line, very, very deep. The more you will experiment with this, the more you will realize that what we have become is actually because everything we were consuming every day. 20, 30 years back, why we did not find the need for spirituality, meditation, why there was no stress? Because there was no content to be consumed. There was no content. Most of us grew up in the era where we first got our first landline phones. Our first TV set was when we were in the 8th or 10th standard. Chabaki mobile, internet, everything came much later. So no content going in. Emotional health was safe without doing anything. But now, because we're exposed to so much content, so two things. One, at least 20 to 30 minutes of very pure content, achhi khurak diet, first thing in the morning, and throughout the day, restrict content consumption. Be very, very, very strict. Very, very, very strict with yourself, with your family, very, very strict with children, even if they will not like you for it. Doesn't matter. They will love you for it for the rest of their life later when they understand. But be very, very, very strict with yourself as far as content consumption is concerned. How much we consume and what is the quality of what we consume. The quality is a question mark. So if the content I consume has lust, anger, greed, jealousy, violence, comparison, competition, and the list, if that's what I consume, then that's who I become. And that's why at the Brahma Kumaris, we go to the center for an hour in the morning. That's only thing we all do. All of us, everyone here who you met, and all your friends who invited you for this webinar, who are in your profession, maybe in your company, they all come to the center for an hour in the morning. That's it. That is that 1 hour to consume compassion, acceptance, forgiveness, letting go, purity, consume, which means study. And what we consume, we start becoming. It's actually as simple as that, that what we consume, we become. So just take care of what you consume. So this is that 1 hour of the morning, which is very important for us. Thoughts of gratitude, affirmation plus visualization, meditation, and spiritual study. 1 hour for myself without ever saying, I don't have time, I'm very busy. That's not a nice thing to say to ourselves. So, the first hour of the morning and the last hour before we sleep, last 2 hours before you sleep, you should start disconnecting from work communication. That will keep the mind fresh, energetic, recharged, relaxed, rested, and very creative next morning at work. So, 2 hours before we sleep, we should disconnect from work so that our mind starts slowing down. An hour before we sleep, we disconnect from other media. And then it could be journal writing, it could be writing a letter, it could be listening to music, it could be talking with family, but no arguments or problem discussion, meditation, 10, 15 minutes of spiritual study, which means the mind relaxes, slows down, starts going to sleep before we fall off to sleep, which means the mind has to start experiencing that slowness before the body goes to sleep. Then we will experience deep sleep. And let our affirmations be the last thoughts on the mind before we sleep. So, the first thought in the morning and the last thought before we sleep can be our affirmations, which we want to manifest and make our reality. So, very, very simple things, very, very simple to become emotionally independent, but all that it requires is a regularity, discipline. So, we just adopt these lifestyles on a daily basis, and within 1 month or 2 months, you will start seeing a change in yourself. And once you see the first change, then continuing with the lifestyle is very natural. Then it's no more a pressure or an effort. So that's how simple it is. So let's sit back again, and choose one situation, one person, because the experiment will start only with one. One situation, one person with who I'm going to experience emotional independence from now. Come to the center of the forehead, the energy center. I am a powerful being. I am a powerful being. My every thought, every word, behavior is my creation. I choose. I'm untouched by the energies of situations and people around me. See yourself with family this evening, tomorrow Sunday, with everyone enjoying the day, different behaviors, with them, but untouched by behaviors. And untouched means see yourself choosing your response to every behavior, choosing a response which energizes me and empowers them. See it happening. Whatever you see right now is getting recorded on your mind. Their behaviors not in my control. My response completely my choice. I choose a response which energizes me and energizes them. I am the master of my life. Swarajya, Swarajya, ruler over the self. I am emotionally independent. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Uh, I like the way you covered this reflection on our own dependencies with the outside world, with um, reaffirming this. What is happening outside is basically reaffirming that fear and anxiety are normal, and this is how the world is, so you don't need to worry. But how that is so close to this emotional illness that could actually tip over and become much more dangerous. And that's something that is so important to sense when we are at that verge, and how these positive reaffirmations throughout the day, starting with the morning and then ending the day with affirmations that are positive, will set the tone for a transformation in our life. So I think this is very apt for the time. There are a few questions that are related to fear and anxiety. I hope these examples, especially the ones of how the world around us is a roller coaster, not the life that I am living, I think those definitely would help. There is a question that we just received on failure. Even after repeated attempts, when one experiences failure in life, how should one approach without a feeling of guilty of that failure? Is this also connected to this feeling of being balanced between praise and criticism, failure and success?
Uh, I make an effort and things don't go my way. Let's change our vocabulary. It's very, very important the vocabulary that we use, the words we use, because we're using those words here. Our thoughts create our feeling. So we need to know the thought process inside. It's a process plant. So the thought I create will give me the feeling. So if I create a thought, I failed, so just say this word to somebody else, experiment it, say it to somebody else, you failed again. How's the person going to feel? And now say it to the same person, oh, the way you wanted it, it's not happened. Acha, never mind, chalo, let's do it again. How's the person going to feel? What has happened is the same, but how we are speaking about it is going to change how the other person is going to feel about it. But same thing if I start doing with myself. If I say to myself, I failed again. I am a failure. We put it as an affirmation. I am a failure. Look at everybody else. Everyone is achieving what they want. It's only me. It's only me. Maybe this is my karma. Maybe this is my destiny. I'm just not getting. Now, this is vocabulary, how I talk to myself. Things may not have happened my way, but to call myself a failure is not loving yourself. If you love someone, you'll never call them a failure. Remember, there's someone or the other around you who must have not got things the way they wanted, but you never called them a failure. You just said, it's okay, sab theek ho jayega, chalo, chalo, get up, we'll do it again, it'll be fine. You never sat there and say, you failed, you failed, you failed. We never say that to other people, but we say that to ourselves because we've not learned to love ourselves. So just remove that line, I failed. No, things did not go the way I thought they should go. So now I start again. I start again. Guilt is not a healthy emotion. It's again another belief system which society said, "Oh, you should be feeling guilty for what you've done." No, you should never feel guilty because guilt is a depleter. Guilt means living with the criticizer in our here. I have to live with the criticizer 24 by 7 inside me. We can't handle other people's criticism because they don't speak nicely to us. But how much is somebody else going to criticize us? 1 line, 2 line, 5 lines, 5 minutes, 2 hours? How much more can someone criticize us? But guilt means self criticism. Self criticism, and then we have to live with the criticizer 24 by 7. So, failure, success, these are only labels given by society. Society said that those who are an achiever is success, and those who did not achieve a certain way is failure. This is what society said. I need to ask myself, what is success? Success means I'm a happy mind, I have a healthy body, I have beautiful relationships, and then I go to work. This is success. Success means I'm kind. Success means I care for people. I'm a giver in my life. This is success. The Hindi word for success is safalta. And the Hindi word is very, very important to understand the meaning. Safalta. Safalta comes from the word safal. And सफल मीन्स आपने अपना जीवन सफल किया, आपने अपना समय सफल किया, which means you used your time, your life in a worthwhile way. That is success, safal. We as a society changed the definition and we said those who achieve are successful. Doesn't matter how they are in their mind, doesn't matter what is the quality of the relationship, doesn't even matter how they achieved. It just matters how much they achieved. This is just a belief system by society. And so let's understand our own definition of success. And of course, we work hard towards achieving. It's not that we say, okay, then it doesn't matter. We're going to work hard. But if things don't go our way, we never call it a failure. Never, ever, ever call it a failure. Just said, okay, it didn't happen this time. Let's begin again. That's it. But happy, we already are. Healthy, we already are. Where our happiness is not dependent on the achievement. So this will not fluctuate, even if things outside don't go your way.
Thank you. That sort of feeds into the next question that somebody has asked us. They say, Sister, you teach us so many wonderful spiritual practices. Even today's session has a lot of those. Uh, their experience is that after a week or 2 weeks, these spiritual practices sort of fade away. And you tell us to love everyone. And even before I realize it, it becomes affection. And then I start having expectation, then I start having dependency on them. So, how do I, first of all, sustain these spiritual practices?
Okay, so very simple. Suppose you have a very healthy meal today for lunch or for dinner, and it's very, very healthy. It has all the nutrients that your body needs, it has all the vitamins, the minerals, everything your body needs. So, how many days will your body sustain with that healthy meal today? No, it won't. It will not even sustain for probably 48 hours. You need to give yourself those healthy nutrients daily. We eat many times in a day. We don't even eat one meal a day. We're eating 3 times a day. We're drinking water 6 to 8 times a day. Suppose you had one whole jug of water today and then you don't drink water for the next few days. Will we be able to remain healthy? Similarly, spiritual health or emotional health cannot happen with one session, one workshop, one webinar, one TV program. No, it cannot. It happens only with daily. And one is studying the spiritual knowledge, and second is the meditation. So, what meditation does is it connects us to the higher power. See, why we have expectations from people. Very easy to understand why we have expectations from people. Because peace, love, and happiness, even if we take three, peace, love, and happiness is something I need to experience because that's my nature. And so go and ask anybody, even those who are talking about war, go and ask them, what do you want? They'll say peace. So every being on this planet wants three things: peace, love, happiness. We want it. It's like air, water. The body needs it. Every health, every body on this planet, which means every body, physical body, needs water and air for to survive. Similarly, every soul needs peace, love, and happiness. Now, from where to get it? How to experience it? One way: create it, which means respond with peace, love, and happiness in every scene. If you respond with peace, love, and happiness in every scene, you're creating it. And if you're creating it, you're feeling it. Then we will not ask people for peace, love, and happiness. But if I'm not creating it, but then I need it, no? I need it. So when people do things my way, I believe they love me. And when people don't do things my way, I think they don't love me. ये मेरे लिए इतना भी नहीं कर सकते, तुम मुझसे प्यार नहीं करते हो, तुम मेरे लिए इतना भी नहीं कर सकते हो. So I equate them obeying me equals to love for me. If a child does not obey the parent says, you don't respect me. So we equate respect to, you are doing what I want you to do. So these are our equations we created. And the child over there is saying, but mummy, papa, I respect you, but I don't want to do this like this. No, if you respect us, then you will listen to what we are saying. See how we create our equations. So what we want to experience, then we start seeking it outside. The other person is not going to be our way. And then I don't experience my peace, love, and happiness. And then my expectations go on increasing. अच्छा ये नहीं किया तो ये कर दो, इसने नहीं किया तो उसने. So we say never ending expectations, never ending desires. Why is it a yuga of never ending desires? Because the weaker I am, I have never ending desires so that I can feel peace, love, and happiness. So now the other way to experience peace, love, and happiness: connect to the higher power, experience that peace, the deep personal relationship with God, connect and energize yourself, study and energize yourself, and then create that peace, love, and happiness in your every response. Then, the first sign of spiritual health: expectations will start reducing, acceptance will start increasing. It's the first sign. It's the first sign, because when this battery starts getting charged, I don't need the world to be my way. I don't need to, because I am happy and peaceful and loveful even without the world being my way. So let's start making it a daily practice. And to make it a daily practice, it's good to go to the center once this lockdown is over, because a center has vibrations, a center has people who are on the same path, they are in the same energy direction. So when we meet 50, 100 people, when we go to the center and together we study, it creates a personality. It's like going to school. Every child can study at home. Why do they go to school? Why do we spend 12 years of our life going every morning to school when everything is available online? Everyone is able to study today without going to school. So can't we continue this way of education without having to every morning get up and go to school? But no, every child is waiting to go to school, because it's the school where we will create a personality, we get the vibrations, we energize ourselves. So similarly, when we go to the center, it's a school. It's a school where we all go together. And so that vibrations is also energizing. So when this lockdown gets over, take up an experiment of 3 months. 3 months is what I always say we should take for ourselves. 3 months, take it as an experiment. Go daily to that school for an hour, study and learn meditation, and then meditate daily. Within 3 months, you will have an answer for yourself that what I'm doing is going right for me. It's working right for me. So it's an experiment that needs to be done.
Thank you. I think this answer also sort of answered itself. Another question that we got about how do we handle when the most unexpected, the closest people around us, whom we never expected will go against us, also go. I think this aspect about having expectations and on what basis we are forming those expectations.
One thing we also need to remember that, sometimes how it happens in relationships, we say, you are not the person I knew who you were, So the person whom we knew, let's say 20 years back, or the person I knew before I got married, and then after marriage, I say, you're not the person I knew. So this expectations comes even there. Or somebody we trusted and we thought they were a particular way, and suddenly they do something which is like, I never expected you to do. So all these things means that we want people to be a certain way. People, even if they are a certain way today, they might change tomorrow. They've not given us a written agreement that they are going to be like this for the rest of their life. We have seen people coming to the center and they change. And even when they change in a good direction, sometimes their family finds it difficult to adjust even with that good direction. It's like, why have you changed? Why are you not the same? And then we ask the family, मतलब क्या हुआ? वो पहले गुस्सा करते थे, अब नहीं कर रहे, तो क्या हुआ? No, 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 he's changed. I'm not used to him like this. People are not going to always be the same, whether in this direction or this direction. People can change, people will change. So it's we who will need to be prepared to be able to adjust, to be able to adapt. But if we think people will be that way, or suddenly someone does something which we did not expect, and it's like COVID, no, we never expected this is going to happen, but it happened. Anything can happen. But if I'm strong and powerful, then the happening will only be outside. That's it. The roller coaster can only be outside. Here will still be calm. Calm, even there is a storm outside. So that's emotional independence.
Wonderful. This aspect of emotional independence and emotional health seems to have definitely uh, made many questions come up in the mind. So one of this is very subtle, I feel, where there is a question of saying, I don't feel anger or irritation or agitation outside, but I'm sensing that inside of me. How do I handle this? Is this a normal feeling again?
Nothing uncomfortable is normal. So, one thing we always need to remember, nothing uncomfortable is normal. So, when we see these first signs, it's good to start working on ourselves. So, sometimes what happens is we do not vent out our anger, but which is a very good thing. We should not, because if we vent it out, then the sanskar becomes even stronger. But if I am taking care, so three stages where we take care: one in our thoughts, second in our words, third in our behavior. So the lowest form of anger or irritation is in the body language, where people can even raise their hand, or somebody can throw an object, somebody can throw a paper. This is where that anger and aggression is even coming out in our behavior. Of course, the extreme form is we can hit somebody, push someone. This is anger and aggression in behavior. Very few people are at that stage. But many of us are at the word level, which is at the verbal level anger, where we say what we want in a very reactive manner. Uh, Many of us are able to take care even at the word level. That is, we will not say anything to people. Even though we've not liked what they've done, we keep quiet, we don't say anything. But we stop there. That I was perfect in my behavior, I was perfect in my words, but in my mind, I allow myself to create those thoughts because I thought nobody can see my thoughts. So I allow myself to think that way, whether it's for other people or sometimes it could be about myself. I can be angry with myself. So even that is unhealthy. Even that's unhealthy because that's a depleter. So it is three stages. So we finish anger first from behavior, then from words, but then from thoughts. And spiritually, we understand then after that, even from our dreams. That means even from our subconscious. So when you are seeing that first sign in your mind, you have to tell yourself, okay, this is a beginning. It's like 99 fever. I need to take care of myself. And just that little morning time of peaceful, powerful spiritual study, and throughout the day, not consuming content of anger. Actually, if we just detach and check the quality of content we consume throughout the day, just the quality, the vocabulary, every word that is being spoken, every word that is there on news channels. Yes, they are giving us information of what's happening in the world, but the vocabulary, the energy, the way of saying it, and we are watching. And we thought it's about the world, it's nothing to do with my life, but I'm consuming that onto my mind, and then my mind starts thinking and talking like that. Remember when we first went to school, or when your child went to school, and then your child came home and started talking some words which you did not like. The first thing the parent said was, हाँ स्कूल जाना शुरू कर गया ना, सीख के आया होगा स्कूल से. So we pick up things, but that time we used to pick up things only from friends and schools. Now we absorbing things from content and from media. So take care, take really good care of what you absorb from the media platforms, and take care that you absorb at least 30 to 40 minutes of very high vibrational content. This 99 fever will go away from the mind.
One on one side is this self-care, and this is the last question that we can take today. One side is the self-care of how do we deal with our own initial signs of emotional distress, and on the other side is if there is someone else whom we love who is going through these emotional distress, how do we handle that without getting irritated, agitated? How do we make sure that they are empowered?
If someone else is going through an emotional health issue, all the more important for us to be emotionally fit, because one big benefit of taking care of our mind is that it not only benefits us, it also benefits people around us. See, like physical health, suppose you go for a walk, or you go to the gym, or you do yoga every day. there's only one person that can benefit, and that's your body. So only one person benefits. But when you take care of your mind, so mind, not physical, it's vibration, it's energy. So your energy, your vibrations radiate in your house, radiate in your workplace, they radiate to people who are there in your energy circle, and they absorb your vibrations. Many times, no, we say, oh, I was not getting good vibes from that person. ये हम देखते हैं कि I was not getting good vibes from that person. But imagine all the good vibes that I'm sending out to people. So when we take care of our mind, it's not one mind which benefits. It's many, 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 many minds which benefit. And many minds doesn't just mean family, friends, or colleagues. Our mind is a part of the world mind. Our mind affects the energy of the world, the energy of the planet. So if someone around you is feeling like that, all the more important for you to meditate, for you to radiate good vibrations. In Raj Yoga meditation, we even learn that how to connect to the supreme power and radiate those pure and powerful vibrations to the other person. Like we do Reiki, pranic healing, not to heal people physically. So we also meditate to heal people emotionally. So you will learn that when you come to the center. But for that, you need to first do it for yourself for a couple of months before you're able to do it for other people. Another one thing which will really help with our discomfort in the mind is our diet, and which means the first step to start working with our mind is to shift to a vegetarian diet. It's very important, because all the effort one side and then going and consuming a diet which has vibrations of anger, aggression, fear, anxiety, helplessness, violence, and death. So, as is the vibration of the food, so is going to be the state of the mind. So, if I am meditating and if I'm working on myself, and then I'm going and consuming my lunch or dinner, which has all these painful vibrations, then my mind will still go through that roller coaster. So gift yourself. If you've not, then shift today to a vegetarian diet. And don't, let's not get into is egg this, that. Just experiment 3 months with a strict vegetarian diet for the whole family. It'll create wonders with people's minds. And in your kitchen, this is another thing which you can do for yourself and for your family, that in your kitchen, play high vibrational content in the kitchen, which means spiritual songs, bhajans, a positive video, anything, any content, audio, video playing in your kitchen, so that the water, the fruits, the vegetables, and the food while it's being cooked, it'll absorb peace. It'll absorb power. It will absorb respect, love. It will get energized. So, which means cook prasad for yourself and for your family every day, because that's how prasad is cooked in temples, ashram, gurdwara. So, if we cook that way every day and don't eat with TV and phone, that should be a culture in the family. No phones and no television while eating. That itself is half the work done. Just if the food is going with the right vibration to your children and to your family, half the work, more than half the work is done there. So you can really work for your family also.
Thank you, Sister Shivani, for all of this wonderful knowledge that we have received. Uh, to everyone, I'm sure I'm speaking for everyone else. On behalf of everyone, we thank Sister Shivani for her time and for her message. I would like to quickly share a few important announcements for all of you. Uh, so, just like the session that you heard today, you will have an archive of previous webinars that we have actually undertaken. All of them are available on the website at bkitving.org/webinar. And the future events that are coming up are also there on the events. Some things that are coming up, and this is something that we are doing every day. If you can join us from wherever you are for a 30-minute meditation, both in the morning and in the evening, it would be great. All of this information again is available on the website. You will find the recording of this also uploaded to the website. There are a couple of apps Sister Shivani has been mentioning about how you can start putting these high vibration energy and positive reaffirmations. These apps are a good medium to do that. you have just a minute, which has a 1 minute meditation for all the 24 hours of a day. Every hour, you can take that 1 minute break and recharge yourself. Similarly, apps that help you in meditation and track your progress, sort of how you're going along the way. We would love to hear all your feedback, and please do send us what you feel about the program, how we could improve anything, what you liked, and what you would like to hear next time. Thank you all very much.
Shanti, thank you.
Shanti.